I mean, you've got children, right? I mean, how many hours have you spent in the playground waiting for the slide sometimes?
Oh, I mean, I have to say, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
That's really up our street. I'm slightly disappointed it hasn't opened sooner. But yeah, mine still want to go on the carousel. The sort of thrill has not passed. And
Really?
they're adults, no, not.
Your kids are quite excited about you coming on the show today, right?
They would like me to say hello.
Go on, yeah, of course.
Hello, Dora and Gwen, hello.
Oh,
Gavin, let's talk your new romantic comedy, because it's not all candlelit and roses, is it? Set the scene for us.
No, it's about as unromantic a romantic comedy. I mean, it's really sort of un-Richard Curtis. This guy is in a really low place and he hears a knock at the door, and it's his neighbour who he's never spoken to, and she's having a heart attack, and the ambulance have said you need to wait with someone, and that's the only reason she's knocked on the door, and that's how they meet.
Nice.
And I think that's why it's quite an unexpected show, because every time you think things are going well, sort of something kind of an obstacle appears, but it's I hope funny and quite romantic.
Yeah, because like you just said, you deal with different subjects in it. You've got bereavement, you've got loneliness, so difficult subjects. But here's your character recovering in hospital. Let's take a look.
You're not married? Don't see a ring?
Oh, no, I'm not, no.
I guess it's too late now. How old are you, 50?
Not quite.
See, that's what it is. That's what'll get us in the end.
Not being married.
The loneliness. Oh, here she is.
Oh,
you made it! Sounds like you were going to be here half an hour ago.
It's brilliant. Catherine, congratulations. I mean, it's all about finding the comedy in those dark situations. Is that something you've tried to do, like, kind of throughout your life, or just in Teleworld?
Yes, I'm just remembering watching that the little girl had to give me a sweet, and I kept really pathetically taking them and hiding them for later. But then they all melted, so then when I got up, it
Oh, no.
had an accident in the bed. Question, what was the question?
Comedy in dark moments, which clearly
Comedy
you're
in dark
fine
moments, yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I remember, not long ago at a funeral, somebody saying, when we saw the coffin, it's not him. And I genuinely thought that the body had been swapped somehow, and got quite dramatic about it, and then we all laughed, and then we all cried, and it's because of the heightened emotion. I feel like laughter sometimes is a hysterical response to stress. So it's
absolutely.
like they are one and the same often. Yeah.
Okay, well, we know you're happily married, but in terms of that, have you got anything that relates to the situations, the awkward relationships, like in that?
Well, I mean, there's a scene later on where we finally sort of get together briefly, and then we lie there in that awkward aftermath, and then Youssef's character Sam gets up and starts hoovering, and it's so excruciating, but somehow so truthful, because I think sometimes we expect life to conform to these romantic ideals that we've seen in so many lovely films. Mm-hmm. And you find that life comes up short quite often. And I feel like that definitely resonates for me. I've definitely had many unromantic moments.
Oh, dear. Yeah, but look, you won, obviously, your BAFTA for the IT Crowd. Do you know, when you get a comedy script like that, do you know if it's going to be funny? Do you know it's going to be a hit?
I think increasingly, it is possible to tell. It's sometimes when you, and you must feel it sometimes with scripted jokes and things, it's when you can see the joke coming a bit too much, when you can see that one character's got the setup line. I feel like in really good comedy scripts, it's hidden.
Yeah.
So it's a setup line is hidden with a joke.
Yeah.
So I guess you don't see the joke coming in a good...
100%. I mean, James, a bit of you, IT Crowd, or are you more of a dark comedy type guy?
No, I'm a huge fan. I like that dry thing, like you said, where it's kind of subtle, it's not big comedy. I like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Sure.
I feel like it's adapted from the Israeli show, and I feel like we might have a similar kind of sense of humour, the British to the Israelis.
Well, interesting. I never knew that. There you go.
I was just going to say, because you're not only starring in that, you're also starring in The Rivals as well. And when you think about the cast, it's absolutely amazing. Of the Jilly Cooper novel, you've got, David Tennant, Aidan Turner, Danny Dyer. Can you tell us anything about it?
I can tell you that they're all a lot of fun. And the mighty Jilly Cooper has been around a lot, and it's a real privilege to be around her. And talking of comedy scripts, I mean, you know, her books, they've got flawless comic characterizations, and yeah, it's just, I'm only halfway through it, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I can
Love
imagine.
it. So nice. Catherine, thank you so much. And Significant Other comes to ITVX on Thursday, the 8th of June. We've actually had some lovely messages as well. We actually had a comment from James as well. Hayley says, I went to 3 of James's shows last year. One of those was the first ever concert for my 10-year-old daughter, Gabrielle. She had a magical night. Loved it.
Sure, it was a magical night. Before we go, we just need to say voting is now open for the National Television Awards, and you know what? We've been nominated in the factual category.
Yeah, also, because she's not here, I can actually say this
You can.
like a proud, embarrassing dad. Right, our very own Alex Jones is up for Best Presenter. To find out more about the nominees, please go to bbc.co.uk/The One Show.
Yeah, that is it for tonight. But thank you to both our guests for coming, to James and Catherine.
Yeah, Jermaine will be back on Monday with Anita Rani. Enjoy the bank holiday.
Goodbye.